PTE exam is not getting any cheaper in 2025. So we need to know, are you ready to take the PTE Core exam, or should you do more practicing? A new Canada and you're looking to get your immigration status, the chances are you don't have time and money to waste taking the test multiple times. It is not cheap. So today we're going to assess your level to understand if you have the right level of English to take the test. We'll look at the different areas like the speaking, the writing section, which is combined, the reading, and the listening. First of all, why the PTE Core exam is so important. This test, just like the CELPIP test, is accepted for Canadian immigration and programs like the Express Entry. So if you're in the process of doing your immigration and you need to get a high score in English, PTE Core will be one of the tests you take. Basically, to live and work in Canada, you need to take an English exam, and the PTE Core is one of the most favorited ones currently. Now, let's talk about the cost. In 2025, the PTE Core test is around 350 Canadian dollars. And trust me, you do not want to keep paying this over and over again. Failing the test multiple times can cost you hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. So that's why it's so important to know your level and if it's adequate enough to get a high score in the exam. You should only be taking the test one time, but having the right level before entering. Now, the exam has 3 sections. They've combined speaking and writing. So that's part number 1. Speaking, writing, it's about 50 minutes to 1 hour. That's the first thing you'll do. Part number 2 is that's only 30 minutes. And the last, listening, which is also 30 minutes. I'm going to give you a comparison of what your English level looks like in comparison to the PTE Core exam. Now, for Canadian immigration, generally, students are looking to get 50 to 70 or 80. 80 would be. Now, before we get assessing your score and seeing if you can take the test right away, I just want to ask a quick favor. So HZad Education is really determined to helping people pass tests for Canadian immigration. We take a look mostly at PTE Core exam, but we also do the CELPIP exam. We have a lot of certified teachers that are there to help you one-on-one. So if you're looking for something more than just a YouTube video and you want an actual instructor, someone that will hold you accountable to studying, make a dedicated study plan for you, and really help you to get the score you need, well, get in contact with us in the link below, and we'll get you a one-on-one personal tutor so that you can pass the test. But in addition to that, if you can like and subscribe the video, it really does help us just boost our algorithm so we can help more people. So thank you. Let's take a look at the comparison. If you are an A1 speaker with basic communication and very low level of vocabulary, you are going to need a lot of time to get ready. Same with A2. A2 can get you a maximum of a 30 in the PTE Core exam. Don't waste your money doing the test yet. Once we get into levels B1 and B2, we're getting closer to a high score with the PTE Core exam. However, we're really hoping that B2 level are those taking the test. So in the upper intermediate section, you can communicate fluently on a lot of different topics, not just personal topics. You can listen to a native speaker, have a conversation, use vocabulary properly, and have some variety in that as well. You can write emails with proper grammar. So you could do all the general requirements that a native English person can do in a test environment. Okay, so we're going to take a look at 3 different examples for the sections. And I want you to really assess if you find this challenging or easy. This will give you a good understanding if you're ready to take the test. So the first one I'm with is the speaking and writing. This is a 50-minute section. It's the longest section and covers 2 areas. They are combining areas because they want to accurately assess your score or accurately assess your understanding of English. Because, well, in English, we don't just do one skill. We communicate, we listen, we speak, we write all together. So anyway, speaking and writing has 8 sections. So let's take a look at the responding to a situation. You need to know if you can do these questions at home, and there's not a lot of information available online. So we've taken one directly from an exam. It looks like this. You are at work and a colleague has asked you to cover their shift tomorrow because they have a personal emergency. However, you already have other commitments. How would you respond? Okay, so together, let's take a look at a high-scoring response that you could use in the exam, and this will get you a sense of what your levels should look like. Hey, Tom, I completely understand that you have an emergency, and I really wish that I could help. Unfortunately, I already have some prior commitments that I can't rearrange. However, I'd be happy to ask around and see if someone else is available to cover for you. Let me know if you need any assistance, and I hope everything works out perfectly fine. So that is a response that you would have to do with very little preparation, which means it needs to come naturally. Your speech also now needs to sound natural as well, with accurate pauses, good pronunciation, intonation as well. So that's one example. Then, towards the end of the speaking and writing section, you have to write an email. This is covered in pretty much all exams, CELPIP, IELTS, PTE, so you should have some familiarity with writing emails. In the PTE Core exam, they're looking for 100 words, so you have to read the situation below, write at least 100 words, and your response should cover some of the key areas that they mention. Our example today says, you recently purchased a laptop online, but when it arrived, you noticed that it was damaged. Write an email to the customer service team explaining the issue and requesting a replacement. So let's go ahead and take a look at a high-scoring email that you could use in the exam. Really be honest with yourself. Could you write an email like this? We're looking for vocabulary applicable to the topic. Sentence structures. So we have simple sentences, compound sentences, complex sentences. We need to have a variety. And it needs to have a proper format. Take a look. Dear customer service team, I recently purchased a laptop from your website, order number 12345. But when I received it yesterday, I noticed that the screen was cracked. The packaging was intact, so the damage may have occurred before shipping. I kindly request a replacement as soon as possible, as I need the laptop for work. Please let me know the steps for returning the damaged product and whether you require any photos as proof. I would appreciate your prompt assistance in resolving this issue. Looking forward to your response. Best regard, me. All right, so this example had really good sentence structure, had some accurate vocabulary. 100 words is short, but that's okay. One is the reading section. This one is 30 minutes, so it's quite short. You should be able to read general text online, like news articles, typically at the B2 level. So go ahead onto CBC or CTV or any other Times Magazine, any articles that are published for native English speakers. You should feel comfortable reading them. If not, then the reading section will be a little bit challenging. But it's not just about reading comprehension. It's also about grammar, because there are several sections that require you to fill in the blanks based on typically grammar. Sometimes it's inference. So let's take a look. Reading section has 5 parts. So a lot of reading-based tasks, but they all pretty much rely on grammar. Let's go ahead and take a look at one example from HZad Education. This is a fill in the blanks. So read the paragraph that's on your screen here and choose the correct answers. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. We have 5 fill in the blanks here. Okay, if you need, pause the video so you can do it at home. Now let's take a look at the answers. If you got all 5 correct, then the reading section will be very manageable for you. If you did not get them correct, then I do advise that you get yourself a personal tutor or do more reading practice at home. What did you get? Can you comment down below to tell me if you got 5 questions right? I want to know. So part number, our final section, the time that you are tired, you don't feel like continuing the exam, but you want to live in Canada. The listening section. This section is again 30 minutes, but it covers 7 different sections. A lot of listening, they're all relatively short. Now, we're going to look a little bit at writing from dictation because this one is the hardest and the very last thing that you do. But first, just to understand your speaking level, you should be able to listen to an audio like this and summarize it in 1 to 2 sentences. So let's take a listen. If it's hard for you, keep practicing. If it's very easy, good. Let's take a listen.
Now, when you get to a party, do you head for people your own age? Have you ever grumbled about entitled millennials? Have you ever rejected a haircut or a relationship or an outing because it's not age appropriate? Well, for adults, there's no such thing. All these behaviors are ageist, and we all do them. And we can't challenge bias unless we're aware of it. Nobody's born ageist, but it starts in early childhood, around the same time attitudes towards race and gender start to form, because of the negative message about late life. Those bombard us from the media and popular culture at every turn, right? Wrinkles are ugly, old people are pathetic. It's sad to be old. Look at Hollywood. A survey of recent Best Picture nominations found that only 12% of speaking or named characters were age 60 and up, and many of them were portrayed as impaired. Older people can be the most ageist of all because we've had a lifetime to internalize these messages and never thought to challenge them. I had to acknowledge it and stop colluding senior moment quips, for example. I stopped making them when it dawned on me that I lost the car keys in high school and I didn't call it a junior moment.
Okay, what did you think of the audio? Was it hard? Let me know in the comments below. Easy to listen to, hard to listen to, I got it 100%. Just tell me. And the last thing I want to tell you about the listening section is that you have to be comfortable writing. I know most people use the computer all the time, but one challenge I see for a lot of students is they just don't write fast enough. So this makes the listening section hard because you're using the computer. So at home, practice your writing speed. Again, you don't have a chance to replay it. You only listen once. So if your typing is slow, that will lose marks. So by now, you probably understand if your English is good enough to pass the PTE Core exam with a 70 or an 80, or if you should really continue practicing for a few months, learn the strategies, learn the test format, and then take it because it's 350 Canadian dollars. But if you want some one-on-one help, we'll get you in touch with our instructors who can really help you to pass the exam, and they give you the right study strategies as well as working one-on-one with you, so you're more likely to get a high score. Before you go, one final tip is to create a study plan for yourself. Practice smart. Don't just randomly do things online. Every week or every few days, you should identify the weakness that you have, so listening, reading, writing, speaking, and deliberately practice that section online. A lot of study plans will tell you to practice up to 1 hour a day. 1 hour is not so much. It's a very manageable amount, but please make sure you create a study plan for yourself. Like always, help us out, give us a like and subscribe down below if you watched to the end of the video. Good luck, and I hope that you pass the PTE Core exam. See you next time.